Good morning and Merry Christmas Eve. My name is Father Frank Buckley, delighted to be your host of our morning meditation group on this beautiful Christmas Eve morning here in Hollywood on our Jesuit campus at Blessed Sacrament. This is a three-part program. The first is a little inspiration. This morning, throughout the year, we have been reading from Mary Poplin's book, Finding Calcutta, about her work with Mother Teresa and the Missionaries of Charity. My little Christmas Eve gift to you this morning will be just a few paragraphs from her at the end of her book about how she found Calcutta. And the inspiration behind it is if Mary Poplin can find her Calcutta on Christmas Eve, so can we. One of the ways we find our Calcutta is through Ignatius of Loyola's example of what Anthony de Mello called being a contemplative in action with the accent on contemplation and not action. The technology gods and goddesses are cooperating. I'm seeing all of you in the comment box. The second part of the program is our meditation, and the third part is the Jesuit Examine. And this is where it would be great if you could just, we'll look at where God has come alive for us recently and drop it in the comment box. And if you're new to the program, feel free to say hello, tell us where you're from, introduce yourself. Okay, on this beautiful Christmas Eve morning, let's get started with our book, our inspiration for this morning, Finding Calcutta by Mary Poplin. Only recently did someone help me find Simeon, the new theologian from the 10th century who developed quite a theology about tears. He believed that such tears were a gift of the Holy Spirit and that part of their purpose was to soften a hardened heart, lead a person to repentance, purification, and even further contemplation. Certainly, my tears were doing all those things, but I did not understand them or enjoy them. I am a thinking type on personality tests, and thinking types don't like to cry in the first place. But if we must cry, surely we should at least intellectually understand why. God obviously did not share my opinion for a couple of months. Then, one day in October, I spoke at a breakfast for women's school administrators at their annual conference. They had invited me to share about my time with Mother Teresa. I told them stories not unlike the ones I have shared with you in this book. And during the question and answer session, a woman asked if it had been difficult coming back from Mother Teresa's community. I was immediately overwhelmed with the same tears in front of what was well over 100 professional women. As I stood there trying to regain my composure, I suddenly received that answer to my prayer. Seeing as it was such a relief to me, and because she had asked, I blurted out my newfound answer to prayer without thinking about the secular setting. I told them yes, I had obviously had some trouble. A nervous laughter of relief rippled through the crowd. Then I continued to share that I had been a Christian for 3 years, and I had met many people, including Mother Teresa, who showed me the truth, the power of Christianity. However, as I prepared to teach, I now realize that the only worldview I was leaving out of my classes was the Christian worldview. I said that if anything Christian was true, I was withholding it from my graduate students, and I felt like a liar. At that, other women in the audience began to cry. The meeting ended. I had found my Calcutta. Well, thank you, Mary Poplin, for the little inspiration this morning, her journey to India. But what caught my attention most in her little book was this idea that we can all find our Calcutta. And one of the ways, or one of the best ways I know to do this, is we're never going to think our way through it, to drop out of our head and into our heart through a contemplative practice. So, without further ado, on this Christmas morning, as we gather as a community from all around the world, let's start by getting comfortable. I invite you to take your shoes off, get comfortable. One of the ways we flourish is to unplug. So now would be a time to unplug from all technology. I've got you covered. I have our timer set for 20 minutes. I'll set the timer. I'll ring the bell to get us started, and then I'll ring the bell to bring us out at the end of 20 minutes. If you're new to meditation, Father Keating says the method is so simple, it's hard to believe. We just sit down and give the next 20 minutes to God. It helps to engage a little sacred word like kindness or love or Christ or peace, something that means something to your own heart. Repeat it 5 or 6 times, drop down to deep rest. And of course, the monkey mind will kick in. That's part of being human. As soon as it does, we just go back to that sacred word, repeat it 4 or 5 times, and then drop down and enjoy this little, what Thich Nhat Hanh calls, miracle of mindfulness in our everyday, ordinary lives. So let's get ready for the miracle. I invite you to lower or close your eyes, whatever feels safe to you. And we will begin and end with the sound of this bell. Listen, listen, the sound of this beautiful bell returns us to our true home. As always, to get grounded, we begin with a little diaphragmatic breathing, which is just a fancy word for breathing deeply as possible into the tummy, into the lower tummy, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Together as a community, inhale, open mouth, exhale. 2 more times, inhale and exhale. Last time, give it all you got. Inhale and exhale. God is as close to us as this air that we breathe. Continue to breathe on your own. Let's take the attention to the body. On Christmas Eve, just feel the feet pressed onto the green earth, our mother, and notice any sensations. Moving up the body, we arrive at the cushion or chair providing support. And on this Christmas Eve, let's just reflect on where we felt a little support recently. It could be a conversation with a friend, looking or locating ourselves in the manger with the baby Jesus, noticing something beautiful, anything at all where we felt supported. And just lean into that support a little bit this morning. God cannot be outdone in generosity. Moving up the body, we arrive at the shoulders, the place that sometimes we hold a little tension. And one of the ways we get on the spiritual path is through surrender. Anything that we've been holding on to, just let it go. As my friend Father Tom Weston says, lighten up. Moving towards the front of the body, I invite you to take the hands to the heart. And focus on something in your life on this Christmas Eve that brings you a little joy. And just try and name it in one simple word. As a community, gently take that word and place it all the way towards the back of your heart. And together, let's breathe into that joy. Inhale. Exhale. Release the hands and just notice what you feel. Finally, we arrive at the forehead, that area between the eyebrows, the seat of intuition, and we focus on an intention for today. St. Ignatius invites us to ask God for what we deeply desire, being courageous enough to ask God for something great and beautiful today. And let's seal that intention with an inhale and exhale. Return to your gentle breath. Engage your sacred word. Notice the traffic, the sensations in the body. Drop down and enjoy the miracle of mindfulness. Please continue. Hmm.
Gently bring the attention back to the room. If the eyes were closed, let's open the eyes. Let's circle the wrist a little, bring a little sensation back into the body. Reverse the train, go the other way with the wrist. Great. Inhale, lift the hands up. Morning stretch. A little tilt to the left, a little tilt to the right. Back to center. Lift the heart to the heavens. Round the back.
Straight spine. Release the arms. Shake it out. Welcome. Well, it's Christmas morning, so let's do something a little different since it's Christmas morning in the middle of a pandemic. I will invite you to just put in the comment box anyone who might need your prayers this Christmas season. And I will start it off. My friend Susan asked for our prayers the other day. Her very, very good friend had a little, I'm sorry, I don't know if it's 4 week, I want to say 4-month-old baby. And the baby had some complications and is now at Stanford Hospital and had stopped breathing and no brain activity. So I'd like to really pray for that little baby. I'd like to pray for her family, for Susan, and for God's healing all around the whole situation. I also ask your prayers, of course, as we've been praying throughout the year, for everyone who's tested positive for COVID, for those friends and our family, all of the Jesuits in the infirmary, and also those who have died from this disease and those their caretakers. So for everyone impacted during this pandemic, and I'm particularly holding close to my heart our brothers in our infirmary in Los Gatos and those who are in the hospital. So feel free, anyone you'd like to pray for this morning, if you'd like us to pray for them, drop it in the comment box. And with that, a perfect segue into our Ignatian Examen, where we've encountered God. I always tell the unhoused, let's make it, excuse me, let's make it a little difficult. Let's make it just during the last 24 hours. Anywhere at all, God showed up for you recently in new and beautiful, unusual ways. I'm happy to start. Thanks for your comments. Concerns for our little rescue dog, Fuzzy. I told you she ate half the gingerbread roof, and the consequences hit yesterday. She threw up all over the kitchen. The good news is she is back to her usual healthy self this morning and had a delicious meal. So that makes me very happy. Second, last night I got a great email from one of our own community, contemplative community members who joins us for the morning meditation on a regular basis. And she generously made a beautiful donation to Genevieve's Garden, which is Brother Henry Perez, our regent on our campus here at Blessed Sacrament. Even in the middle of this pandemic, this guy is unbelievable. As a matter of fact, he's out there right now getting ready when most nonprofits close down on holidays. He moves into action. He's a 5-star chef, and Monday through Fridays for all the unhoused in Hollywood, the school has given us their outdoor dining area. He provides a delicious meal from 12 to 2, Monday through Friday. He'll be doing it on Christmas Eve. And a little bird told me that on Christmas Eve, he will even have honey baked hams being prepared. So that makes me very happy. Genevieve's Garden, because of this donation, will definitely keep going through the holidays. And Genevieve's Garden has been a little bit of a miracle in the middle of a pandemic. It has not missed a weekday for providing food. I think over Thanksgiving, between Genevieve's Garden and a couple other churches in Hollywood, 3,700 people got fed. And just when I think there's no money left for Genevieve's Garden, it comes in. So I'm sure God has a little hand in this. And this is precisely why I call Blessed Sacrament, our Jesuit parish, the gem in Hollywood. And then last, by far not least, Merry Christmas. I could not be more grateful to this contemplative community. It gets me on the mat. It gives me an opportunity to have a morning practice. And I'm always reminded of the former abbot of the Zen Center in San Francisco, someone near and dear to my heart. She died a few years ago. God bless Blanche Hartman. And she would always say, when we sit in a room by ourselves, it's quiet. But when we sit with community, it gets real quiet and real interesting. Thank you for showing up. Have a beautiful Christmas Eve. Yeah, if you're looking for a liturgy, I'll have my red Santa cap on, a very fun homily at 4 o'clock online, Blessed Sacrament. Hope to see you there. God bless you and Merry Christmas.